Have you ever noticed how certain situations keep showing up in your life, like a broken record playing the same song over and over? Have you wondered why you attract the same type of toxic relationships, face the same financial struggles repeatedly, or find yourself dealing with identical conflicts no matter how many times you change jobs, cities, or social circles? What if I told you that these repeating patterns aren't evidence of bad luck or personal failure, but actually sacred invitations from the universe for your spiritual awakening? Joseph Campbell, the renowned mythologist who spent his life decoding the mysteries of human transformation, discovered something profound about the cyclical nature of our life experiences. Through his study of myths, legends, and heroes' journeys across cultures, Campbell found that repetition is one of the primary ways the universe teaches us the lessons we need for our spiritual evolution. We live in a culture that treats repeating problems as evidence of personal inadequacy, as proof that we're somehow broken or incapable of learning from our mistakes. We're taught to feel ashamed when patterns repeat, to judge ourselves harshly for not getting it the first time, to believe that spiritually evolved people should transcend their challenges quickly and permanently. But Campbell discovered something revolutionary. Repeating life situations are not punishments for past failures, but rather compassionate opportunities for deeper understanding. They're not signs that you're spiritually deficient, but evidence that your soul is committed to your growth and refuses to let you skip the lessons that are essential for your evolution. The universe operates like a masterful teacher who understands that some lessons are so fundamental to our development that they must be learned at the cellular level, integrated into our very being, transformed from intellectual understanding into embodied wisdom. These lessons are too important to be learned once and forgotten. They must be practiced repeatedly until they become second nature. If you're recognizing yourself in this description I just made, know that you're definitely not alone in this. Actually, if this video is making sense to you so far, hit the like button to help me bring this reflection to more people who really need to hear this message, and subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. That goes to the root of problems and really makes you think differently about life. Now tell me in the comments, what's one situation that keeps repeating in your life, and what lesson do you think the universe might be trying to teach you through it? I read all the comments, and this helps me understand better how to create content that really impacts your lives. Campbell understood that life operates according to what he called the spiral principle of evolution. Unlike linear learning, where you master something once and move on, spiritual development happens in spirals. You encounter the same themes, the same challenges, the same relationship dynamics repeatedly, but each time at a deeper level of understanding, with greater capacity for integration, with expanded consciousness to see what you couldn't see before. This spiral learning is necessary because spiritual growth isn't just about acquiring new information. It's about fundamental transformation of your being. It's about rewiring your nervous system, reprogramming your subconscious mind, and restructuring your entire relationship with reality. This kind of deep change can't happen through a single insight or experience. It requires repeated exposure, ongoing practice, and progressive integration. The first spiritual meaning behind repeating life situations is what Campbell called the curriculum of unhealed wounds. Every person carries within them certain emotional, psychological, or spiritual wounds from childhood, past relationships, or previous experiences. These wounds create what Campbell called energetic signatures that unconsciously attract situations designed to bring these wounds to the surface for healing. Most people interpret the reappearance of painful situations as evidence that healing isn't working, that they're destined to suffer, or that they're somehow attracting negativity. But Campbell understood that these repeating situations are actually the universe's way of offering multiple opportunities for complete healing, for full integration, for total transformation of the wounded aspects of your psyche. Think about how physical healing works. When you have a deep cut, your body doesn't heal it once and declare the process complete. Instead, it continuously sends healing resources to the injured area, layer by layer, cell by cell, until the wound is completely restored and even stronger than before. Spiritual healing works the same way. The universe keeps presenting you with situations that activate your wounds until those wounds are completely healed and transformed into wisdom. Campbell found that people who understand this principle approach repeating challenges with curiosity rather than frustration. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me again?" they ask, "What is this situation trying to heal in me? What aspect of my consciousness is ready for transformation? How can I respond differently this time to integrate the lesson more deeply?" This shift in perspective transforms the entire experience of facing repetitive challenges. Instead of feeling like a victim of your patterns, you become an active participant in your healing. Instead of judging yourself for not being fixed yet, you appreciate the thoroughness of the universe's healing process. The second spiritual meaning behind repeating situations is what Campbell discovered was the mastery principle in action. Just as a musician must practice scales repeatedly to achieve mastery, your soul must practice certain spiritual skills repeatedly to achieve mastery over lower consciousness patterns like fear, anger, jealousy, or victim thinking. Campbell found that the universe presents us with increasingly challenging versions of the same basic scenario to test and strengthen our spiritual muscles. You might first encounter betrayal in a friendship, then in a romantic relationship, then in a business partnership, each time with greater intensity, higher stakes, and more complex dynamics. This isn't the universe being cruel, it's the universe being thorough. Each iteration of the challenge gives you an opportunity to practice responding from a higher level of consciousness, to embody more of your spiritual wisdom, to demonstrate mastery over reactive patterns that once controlled you. People who understand this principle begin to see repeating challenges as spiritual gym equipment. Just as physical exercise equipment is designed to create resistance that strengthens your muscles, spiritual challenges are designed to create resistance that strengthens your consciousness. Campbell discovered that there are certain fundamental spiritual skills that everyone must master to achieve authentic freedom and fulfillment. The ability to maintain inner peace regardless of external circumstances, the capacity to love unconditionally even when others behave unlovingly, the strength to stay centered in your truth even when pressured to conform, the wisdom to respond rather than react when triggered. These skills can't be learned theoretically. They must be developed through repeated practice in real-life situations. The universe orchestrates circumstances that require you to use these skills over and over until they become your natural response rather than something you have to consciously remember to do. The third spiritual meaning behind repeating patterns is what Campbell called the integration imperative. Sometimes situations repeat because you've learned the lesson intellectually but haven't yet integrated it fully into your being. You understand the truth mentally, but your nervous system, your subconscious mind, or your energy field hasn't caught up with your intellectual understanding. Campbell found that there's often a significant gap between knowing something and being something. Between understanding a spiritual principle and embodying it consistently, the universe keeps presenting similar situations until this gap is closed, until your understanding has descended from your mind into your body, your emotions, your automatic responses, and your energy field. This integration process is what transforms spiritual seekers into spiritual beings. It's what moves you from someone who talks about enlightenment to someone who lives it, from someone who understands love to someone who embodies love, from someone who believes in abundance to someone who radiates abundance. The repeating situations serve as integration tests. They challenge you to demonstrate your understanding under pressure, to maintain your spiritual awareness when it's difficult, to embody your highest wisdom when your lower impulses are activated. Each time you successfully integrate a lesson more deeply, you raise your baseline consciousness and attract higher-level experiences. People who master this understanding stop being frustrated by the repetition and start being grateful for the opportunity to deepen their embodiment. They recognize that each iteration of a challenging situation is a chance to demonstrate to themselves and the universe that their growth is real and permanent. The fourth spiritual meaning of repeating life situations is what Campbell discovered, was the destiny preparation process. Sometimes patterns repeat because you're being prepared for a specific role, mission, or destiny that requires you to have complete mastery over certain challenges before you can fulfill your highest purpose. Campbell found that everyone has what he called a cosmic assignment, a unique contribution to make to the evolution of consciousness, the healing of the world, or the betterment of humanity. But these assignments often require specific qualities, skills or levels of consciousness that can only be developed through particular types of challenges. If your destiny involves helping others overcome addiction, you might find yourself repeatedly facing situations that trigger addictive patterns until you've achieved complete mastery over them. If your purpose involves healing others' relationship wounds, you might attract repeated relationship challenges until you've transformed all your own relational patterns. This destiny preparation can feel exhausting and frustrating because you can sense that you're meant for something greater, but you keep getting stuck in what seem like lower-level challenges. Campbell understood that this frustration comes from not recognizing that these lower-level challenges are actually graduate-level spiritual training for your ultimate mission. The universe is incredibly precise in its preparation process. It won't give you a destiny you're not qualified for, but it also won't let you skip the qualifications. Every repeating pattern is developing specific aspects of your consciousness that will be essential for your service to the world. People who understand this principle develop tremendous patience with their growth process. They recognize that they're not just healing for themselves, but for everyone they'll eventually serve. They understand that their mastery over certain challenges qualifies them to guide others through similar challenges. The fifth spiritual meaning behind repeating situations is what Campbell called the frequency calibration process. As your consciousness evolves, as you raise your vibration, as you become more aligned with your authentic self, your energy field goes through calibration periods where the universe tests whether you can maintain your new frequency under various conditions. Campbell found that spiritual growth doesn't happen in a straight line. There are periods of rapid expansion followed by periods of integration and testing. During these testing periods, you might find yourself facing challenges that you thought you had transcended, experiencing emotions you thought you had healed, or attracting situations you thought you had outgrown. This isn't regression, it's calibration. The universe is ensuring that your new level of consciousness is stable and sustainable before allowing you to access the next level of your journey. It's like a pilot testing all systems before takeoff. Every component must be functioning perfectly before the plane can safely reach cruising altitude. These calibration periods often involve what Campbell called spiritual pop quizzes, unexpected situations that test whether your growth is authentic or superficial, whether your spiritual understanding is intellectual or experiential, whether your transformation is temporary or permanent. People who understand this process don't panic when old patterns resurface or when familiar challenges reappear. They recognize these experiences as final exams for their current level of development, opportunities to demonstrate that they've truly integrated their growth and are ready for advancement. The sixth spiritual meaning of repeating life situations is what Campbell discovered was the compassion cultivation curriculum. One of the most important qualities for spiritual development is compassion, not just for others, but for yourself and for the human condition in general. Repeating challenges cultivate this compassion by ensuring you experience the full spectrum of human struggle. Campbell found that people who haven't faced certain challenges often lack empathy for those who have. Someone who's never struggled with money might judge those who have financial problems. Someone who's never battled addiction might lack compassion for those who have. Someone who's never experienced betrayal might not understand the depth of trust wounds. The universe ensures that everyone experiences enough challenge to develop genuine compassion for the human experience. Repeating situations guarantee that you understand certain struggles intimately, not just intellectually. This understanding becomes the foundation for authentic compassion and effective service to others. This compassion cultivation also extends to self-compassion. When you repeatedly face the same challenges, you're forced to develop patience with your own learning process, forgiveness for your own mistakes, and acceptance of your own humanity. You learn that transformation takes time, that healing happens in layers, that growth is messy and non-linear. People who develop this compassion become incredibly effective healers, teachers, and guides because their wisdom comes from lived experience rather than theoretical knowledge. They can hold space for others' struggles because they've walked through similar darkness themselves. The seventh and most profound spiritual meaning behind repeating life situations is what Campbell called the soul's commitment to complete awakening. Your soul, your higher self, your deepest essence, is committed to your complete spiritual awakening in this lifetime. It will not allow you to remain unconscious in areas where consciousness is required for your fullest expression. Campbell discovered that repeating patterns are evidence of your soul's relentless commitment to your liberation. Your soul loves you too much to let you remain stuck in limiting patterns, too much to allow you to settle for partial awakening, too much to permit you to avoid the growth that's essential for your fulfillment. This means that the more spiritually ambitious you are, the more challenging your repeating patterns might be. If you're content with a mediocre life, the universe might not push you very hard. But if your soul has signed up for complete awakening, for maximum service, for full expression of your divine potential, then your repeating patterns will be designed to ensure you achieve that level of consciousness. Understanding this transforms your relationship with challenging patterns completely. Instead of seeing them as evidence of failure, you see them as evidence of your soul's ambition. Instead of judging them as problems, you honor them as part of your spiritual curriculum. Instead of trying to escape them, you embrace them as sacred assignments. Campbell's ultimate message about repeating life situations is that they're not random, punitive, or meaningless. They're precisely designed spiritual curricula, tailored specifically for your unique path of awakening. Every repetition is an opportunity. Every challenge is a curriculum. Every pattern is a pathway to greater consciousness. The universe repeats situations until you've extracted every bit of wisdom they contain, until you've transformed every aspect of unconsciousness they reveal, until you've developed every quality they're designed to cultivate. When you've truly mastered the lesson, when you've completely integrated the growth, when you've fully embodied the consciousness shift, the pattern naturally dissolves and new adventures begin. Trust the process, honor the repetition, embrace the curriculum. Your soul knows exactly what it's doing, and every repeating situation is evidence of its infinite love for your complete awakening and fullest expression. The patterns will repeat until they don't need to. The lessons will continue until they're complete. The challenges will persist until they're mastered. And then something beautiful will emerge, the authentic you, fully awakened, completely integrated, ready to serve the world from a place of genuine wisdom and embodied compassion. And remember, if this video brought any new insight to you, share in the comments what it was. I read all of them, and this helps me create even better content for our community.